I don't love my newborn daughter. I 20F recently gave birth to a girl because I was too scared to abort after my coworker forced me to have sex with him. I have gotten therapy for that and have been trying to take care of my daughter since I live alone and have nobody to help me. The issue is that I don't love her or even think of her as my child. I never wanted to be a parent and don't know what I am doing at all. I ended up having to quit my work during the pregnancy and now I don't even have time to work or anything. I'm extremely stressed out and don't know what to do. I need advice. Edit. I dropped it off at a safe haven at the fire station.
This may get downvoted to death, but adoption is always an option. So as a fire station, they will take her, no questions asked. Better to give her a chance in life if you don't want her.
Maybe look into adoption or find relatives who would want to take her in.
This might get downvoted, but have you thought of adoption as an option? Or is there any family that could temporarily take her in? My mom felt the same way, and I ended up living with family friends for my first year, and then off and on throughout my childhood I was shipped off to various family members whenever she got a new boyfriend or wanted to move, and I was a hindrance. Now, I'm 30-ish now and I know my mom loves me now, but I also know that without a doubt I was not wanted and definitely never felt the motherly love growing up and really don't feel it now either. It's kind of like the love you feel for a family member, cousin, close friends-ish. Of course I also know that sometimes it just takes time. I don't have children myself, but I have friends that have expressed similar feelings.
Can you get some help? You may have some postpartum depression going on.
It's okay. I get you. We get you. You are not doing anything wrong and you have no obligation to love a child. You were very brave all along. Enduring a pregnancy you didn't want in the first place, you would have been brave as well if you had decided to abort. Any decision related to being pregnant with an unwanted child is traumatizing, especially when rape was involved. You did great so far and you took care of her even if you can't bond with her. Thank you for being such a compassionate and considerate person. You don't have any obligation to continue doing so if it's too much for you to handle. It's fine. Be kind to yourself. You went through much already. You can give her to adoption and she'll find a loving family who is hoping for a baby and who is going to give her a good start in life. I didn't see a lot of answers say this, but you are not a bad person to feel this way. It's okay to not feel love towards this babe that was forced upon you. Definitely seek out adoption and help for yourself. Build yourself up for a new life and get out of any negative situations as soon as possible. This situation is more common than you think. Many women and young girls who are forced or unable to seek medical help struggle to know what being happy in life feels like. No person of any gender or background should be stuck being unhappy due to these types of situations. Honey, you have options. You can take your baby to any fire station or hospital and they will take care of her. They'll find her a good home. You can also contact an adoption agency yourself. You don't have to be a parent if you don't want to be. There is a way out for you. Why do people think they gonna get downvoted for saying adoption? It's literally the first thing that popped in my head when I read the first lines.
Please do not harm or neglect your daughter. And #X200B. I know things can be stressful right now. I know you are stressed. Do you have friends or any family close by, up to 2 hours away? If so, call them up and ask for help. If you have a religious body you attend, call for help. And #X200B. If you are truly alone and don't want her, then call CPS or an adoption agency. And #X200B. I'm sorry you were put into this hard situation and it can be taxing for anyone, but I'm certain there are people who love you and can help you.
Adoption is a loving choice. Not only do you give your daughter a better life, you give a child to a couple who are likely trying everything possible but are unable to conceive.
Have you reported that pig? And have you considered to give her up? That could help you. And I know that the U.S. foster system isn't great, that I have heard of. I am not an American.
Before you decide on adoption, please rule out postpartum depression first. Talk to your gyno, tell them your honest thoughts and see if you can get a referral for a therapist. I don't know if you're having thoughts of harming yourself or your daughter, but if you do, please seek help immediately. Call CPS, your doctor, the police, a distant family member, anyone. Reach out in real life, not just on the internet. I'm sorry you're going through this, and I hope you get the help you need.
Go to Planned Parenthood and talk to a professional. They can help you make an informed decision that's best for both you and the baby.
I am sure that this is probably going to get downvoted to hell, but one of my friends was adopted when she was a few months old because her birth mother was in a very similar situation to you. She has a wonderful loving parents who are open and honest, and it was an open adoption, so she knows who her birth mother was. Being forced to care for a child given your situation may not be altogether the best thing. Alternately, you could sue your coworker for child support, and hopefully get the support that you need through this.
Put the baby up for adoption.
What nobody tells you is that not all expecting mothers have this magical bonding experience with their baby while pregnant, especially those who did not want the child to begin with. Add to that the fact that she is the result of a traumatic experience for you, and it makes sense that she reminds you of your assault. This does not make you a monster. Just because you didn't magically change your feelings about her while pregnant doesn't mean something is wrong with you. But for both of your sakes, look into other care home options for her. Don't try to raise a child you resent, it'll do much more damage than good. I am sorry for what happened to you, and I am wishing you both the best.
Please safely surrender her and give her the chance of living forever with someone who will love and care for her. I'm sorry that situation happened to you, but don't let her grow up feeling unloved and unwanted.
Greater than my coworker forced me to have sex with him. So rape. If so, report him. Also put the baby for adoption. There's no shame in that, and you're so brave. You're still young, you're strong. It's so okay. I'm getting a little teary-eyed because I really relate with how you handled this. I've made so many mistakes in my life and not listened to my gut, then dealt with a worse situation after. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to put the baby up for adoption. It's okay to say, I messed up, and not beat yourself up about it. Don't shut down your gut and live a life that's not ideal for you or the child. There are so many people out there who would love to adopt a child. Best of luck.
The options for adoption are still very valid, and I don't want to undermine them. I just wanted to let you know that as someone who planned my kids, it was still extremely hard. I was in survival mode and I didn't love my kids until they were at least 6 months old. Even then the love came on slow. When they were born I had this super intense flight or fight instinctive reaction to care for them, but there was no love, only that drive to see to their needs. It may not be normal, maybe it needs treatment. I definitely had postpartum depression. But I got through and I loved them when my mind settled. I just wanted to let you know that if you feel that drive to protect them, you may grow to love them too. But you'll have to listen to your gut to know what's right for you.
Put them up for adoption.
Significant other many people want to adopt a baby. Please look into adopting her out to someone who will love her. Don't punish the baby. She's just as much a victim as you are. If you don't love her and can't adequately take care of her, look into putting her up for adoption. If you don't love her and continue raising her, she's going to grow up in a household devoid of love and affection, and it will impact her for the rest of her life. You need therapy and you need to go to the police about your coworker.
You can get assistance from a doctor, a nurse, or a local hospital. It sounds like you have postpartum depression. Look up the symptoms online and find out what support is available in your area. Make no decisions about adoption or anything else until you have sought medical guidance. Good luck.
I agree that you should keep adoption as a possible option, but you really need to be evaluated by doctor and/or counselor who is well versed in postpartum and children born out of rape. They can also help you arrange adoption if that's the choice you make. If you give us a location, we can probably find free or almost free services that would give you this sort of support. I'm sorry you have to go through this. Just realize that adoption doesn't mean you failed or are a bad parent. You had several traumas happen to you. Rape, forced pregnancy and childbirth are all traumatic events. Please go see your gynecologist and take care of yourself.
Please take care of yourself either way. You are important and there's a reason you are here. I agree with adoption. Open adoption is great advice, if that's what you want. I don't know where you're located, but I'd take her any day.
If you don't love her, please give her up for adoption. You've done a really good thing by continuing to take care of her when you don't want her. I'm so sorry that you were put in this position to begin with. But she deserves parents that want her and love her. And you deserve time and space to heal from the trauma you've experienced. Do both of you a favor and give her up. Edit for spelling.
Put your own mask on, honey. It's okay to give the baby up to adoptive parents. Little ones are easier to place. Don't struggle because you feel you must.
Really think about this thoroughly. Imagine not being part of her life at all, and if you don't see yourself being able to love and care for her, you should definitely contemplate putting her up for adoption. There is nothing wrong with it. I'm terribly sorry for what you went through. I hope you get the help and support you need. If you need to vent or talk, feel free to message me.
Better for her to grow up with adoptive parents who want and love her than a mother who doesn't.
I think you should consider giving her up, as you didn't want a child in the first place. Then get therapy to help yourself.
What you have been through is awful, and I can't imagine how it must have felt. As has been posted many times, there is honor in surrendering a child to a loving home if you don't feel you can provide one, but also know that even women with planned, wanted babies can experience these feelings of disconnect with their baby. It is called postnatal depression and is tremendously difficult to experience. It can bring all sorts of emotions or just numbness, and it does get better with help. It doesn't make you a bad parent or person. Being a new mum is the biggest upheaval under the best if circumstances. Please see your GP or doctor and tell them how you feel. They can help you whatever you decide, but adoption is very final. It is possible you need help and support rather than to give up your baby. Talk to someone you trust. Whatever you do, you will need support. Good luck. Growing heart.
This rapist is in jail, right? Dear Op, I am so sorry that you were forced to go through this traumatic experience. You were very brave to keep going under all this pressure. You must be now so tired and stressed to the level many of us here cannot imagine. I feel for you. You definitely should give the child to a safe place where somebody will take care of her. If you are too exhausted to search the adoption agency right now, the hospital or fire station could also be fine. Just make sure the child is safely given to a person, not left on some bench. Then you can continue resting and getting help, using therapy, support groups and all other options. You already did the hardest part. Once the child is safe, all your time and energy can go back to healing your life.
If you genuinely feel that you can't love your child ever, it's better that you give the child up for adoption rather than live a life where you hate the child and she feels the resentment and feels unloved. Do both of yourselves a favor and give her up, please.
I am very sorry you were raped, and I don't want to undermine how much trauma that must have caused you. But please do the right thing. If you don't want a kid and aren't ready for it, give her the best chance to find a loving home by giving her up for adoption. I agree with the advice on adoption. I might consider checking with a therapist to talk through this and confirm it's what you want, and not PPD. But if you don't want this child, it's absolutely okay to seek out adoption.
Put her up for adoption. It's okay to do that. There is absolutely no shame in deciding that adoption is an option for you. People may say things against it, but honestly, if you aren't ready for a child, then it is the best thing to do. You may never be ready for a child or even really want a child, and that's okay too. The best thing you can do is give her a chance for a loving home and yourself the chance to live the life you want.
Why do you not reply to any comments suggesting adoption?
You, Ebby45. This isn't the type of situation you typically comment on, but do you have any words of advice or resources to recommend to Op?
Put your child up for adoption. You shouldn't be saddled with this situation, and she deserves parental love. You both deserve better.
Seek help for postpartum immediately. There is no other answer until this is done first. And I don't think I have to tell you since you're mature enough to talk about it, but do not harm your child in any way.
I suggest adoption or open adoption if you want to see how she gets raised. Please give her this chance.
She sounds young enough that you can give her for adoption. Lots of families want really young kids. She deserves a chance at real love.
Try and research about your state laws about surrendering the baby at a fire station or a hospital. If you're unable to do that or are dealing with too much other stuff, PM me some info and I'll figure it out and give you the info you need.
This is normal for someone to bring a child into this world under those circumstances, but you have to try your best. Go to counseling. You hopefully will grow to love her, and if not, you can look into adoption options.
You did the right thing for the baby. I'm sorry Op. I hope you find some peace soon. I'm just an internet stranger but I'm rooting for you. You are amazing for your honesty and so brave in your action.